Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Heather Brown. This is CBSN Minnesota's morning update. So that time in the morning, you grab that coffee, grab that tea. Let's get you up to speed on the news and the weather. It's going to be another cold one this morning. You can see that wind will nip you this morning. Blustery, Riley tells us, 31. It's not going to get much warmer throughout the day. We got to wait for tomorrow or even the next day. By the end of the week, we should see those temps up in the 70s. But for now, a pretty typical late Minnesota March. Let's get talking about what is on a lot of people's minds today. The boys state hockey tournament now underway, and we have learned that the reigning 2A champs will not get a chance this year to defend their title. So here's what happened. 9 Hill Murray High School players sued the state high school league because they wanted to play in today's quarterfinal. So that team, the Hill Murray team, it had exposure from an opponent that they had played earlier. So the high school league said that they had to wait and be in quarantine until Thursday. The game, though, today, the team did have to forfeit. The lawsuit had argued that the players were not at high risk of having COVID-19.
It's quite honestly criminal. I was just at the Mall of America elbow to elbow with people last weekend. So that's okay in our society, but for 16, 17-year-old teen kids, 4 seconds is unacceptable. And so we don't feel that's right.
So Hill Murray was going to play Wayzata today. Instead, now Wayzata will advance to the semifinals on Friday. Now, all of the teams knew the risk going into this tournament. They all signed, those forms. They knew what the COVID protocols were. This is a tough one, though. There wasn't a lot of exposure. The lawsuit laid out just a couple seconds of exposure for some of these players to that player who had tested positive. But we do know that COVID has spread in youth sports, and the protocol is in place for a reason. So we want to know what you think about this one. This is tough for those kids. Should the league have let them play? Did the league make the right call? Should they have sued? What should the judge have done? What do you think? Because I know there'll be a lot of opinions on this one. If you're watching on Facebook, leave a comment here. I'll read through a couple of those in a moment. A Minneapolis firefighter will retake the stand this morning in the trial of Derek Chauvin. Genevieve Hansen was just one of the bystanders who took some video of the fatal encounter between police and George Floyd. She testified that she tried to intervene to help him, but that former officer Tu Tao, seen right there on the camera, prevented her from offering medical assistance. We also heard from the teenager whose video of the fatal interaction was seen around the world. Darnella Frazier was 17 years old when she recorded the incident, so her testimony was given off camera. She told the court what she saw at 38th in Chicago that day.
When I look at George Floyd, I look at my dad, I look at my brothers, I look at my cousins, my uncles, because they are all black. I have a black father, I have a black brother, I have black friends. And I look at that and I look at how that could have been one of them.
Darnella said what other witnesses had echoed, that they wish they could have done more. Police need your help in finding a 10-year-old girl who they believe has been driving herself around the metro last night. Ava Whitfield is likely in a black 2018 Chevy Equinox. The license plate is BAU 358. Police say she took it from her home in Fridley yesterday morning. Around 5 in the morning, security cameras caught her using her mother's credit card at a gas station in Ramsey. She was on camera again a few hours later at a Walmart in Eden Prairie. Now, Anoka Sheriff's County says that Ava was last seen in the Edina area. This was last night. This was right near France Avenue and 494. If you see her, if you have any information about where she might be, call 911. We do have some breaking COVID vaccine news this morning, and it's a good one. Pfizer says that its vaccine is safe. Not only that, it's strongly protective in younger children. A study found that it was 100% effective in preventing COVID in that age group of 12 to 15 years old. Right now, Pfizer can only be given to as young as 16 years old. This news marks a step towards possibly beginning shots this age group before the next school year begins in the fall. So our dry and windy weather is fueling some brush fires. This one started here at 35W in Lino Lakes. This was yesterday afternoon. Investors think it probably started because someone threw their cigarette out the window. Oh, helicopters had to be brought in to dump water onto those flames. New York police say they have arrested a suspect in a brutal hate crime attack on an Asian woman. Ooh, this surveillance video, it's very hard to watch. It shows a man kicking the 65-year-old woman to the ground and then stomping on her. That woman is in the hospital right now. She is in stable condition. The man has been charged with felony assault as a hate crime. Remember the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Well, she's in real trouble with the feds. Jen Shah was arrested in Utah yesterday on federal fraud charges related to a telemarketing scheme. So court documents allege that she had defrauded hundreds of victims over the last 9 years. According to the indictment, many of those victims were older, over 55. The group was selling online products and services that the feds say were fraudulent. She does have a virtual court appearance today in New York. Pizza Hut adding another way for you to get their pizza quick and safe. The company has announced that it will be adding the Hut Lane to more than 1,500 locations. So this is a dedicated pickup window. It's just for orders online, and if you put an order through the app, Pizza Hut says that it's sold more than 50 million pizzas through contactless orders in just the last year. And Andover as a new little tourist wandering around town this morning, or at least was wandering around town, and local police want to know if you have any information about this goat. Yep, this goat, the white goat, was caught walking loose all around Andover. The sheriff's office says that the goat appears to enjoy spring walks, gardening, grilling. Of course it does. Oh, it hasn't bothered anybody. It just goes around and eats the plants and eats the grass. But right now they did bring it into an animal control facility. The police hope that somebody does claim it. Please give Anoka County a call if you know where this little goat belongs. All right, let's head back to today's talker. I'd love to hear what you're saying about this one, because this is a tough one. And Shelley, I think a lot of people feel this way, says they should have just played. I'm wishing we could sort of figure out a way to get them to play. Want the end of their quarantine, maybe on Thursday there. Annette says they should have gotten a rapid COVID test and then negative, and they played just like the professionals. That's a tough one there too, because don't always tell you the whole story. Melody says, I think it's new territory. She's right, Melanie. I get both sides here. It is new territory, and it's, let's just hope it's nothing like this next year. Jessica says, let them play. Yep. Simon says, I agree with the league's call. Playing high school hockey in the tournament, it's amazing. However, they also in that document, they know the risk, and they know what could happen. Yep. We all knew this going into it. Katie says, selfish, pretty basic, teaching kids the wrong values. Hill Murray should know better. Thanks, everybody, for sending in your feedback. We appreciate it. Love to hear from you each morning on your morning update from CBS Minnesota. Of course, we are your only local streaming news source. You can find us on all those devices. Just download that CBS News app or go to WCCO.com. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.